Hello, gorgeous people of Earth, and welcome to this week's weekly forecast. Right now, we are talking about the week of June 4th through June 11th. Before we get into the cards, obviously, we are starting off this week on June 4th, fresh out of a full moon. So, with that being said, I'm just going to let the cards tell us what's going on this week. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Also, before we lay out any cards, just a disclaimer that tarot and oracles do not deem you to any realities that you do not resonate with. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And yeah, let's just see what we have. So what's going on this week? Thank you. What's going on this week? Thank you. I think I'm going to take flower too. What is going on this week? Just take those four. And one more. What's going on this week? Thank you. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, that is a few too many, so we're going back. Oh, there's two here. Okay, one more. What's going on this week? I see this one. Okay, let's get into the cards. I'm going to leave the tarot ones for after, but first we have unconditional love, and that is such a beautiful start to our week. We see two fairies with quite an abundance of color and creativity. And just unconditional love. It seems like they're offering it to each other. We see this sort of like reciprocal offering and receiving and offering. So exciting. We have flower. It says, pluck the weeds and plant the seeds of your most magnificent expression. Okay, so once again, we see a figure kind of just like expansively existing. Like we see her energy radiating off of her. She's dropping seeds into the soil and she's walking in the ecosystem that supports her most authentic self. I feel like that's obviously a premonition of what we might be experiencing this week, or what we might be learning or starting this week, some behaviors we might be starting. And then we have mountain or hill that says reach your goals. Okay, so we might have a goal of self-expression and doing it unconditionally, first of all, but doing it in a manner of, I'm excited to be here. You feel like there's time and space to flourish and feel things out, rather than I need to be the best version of me and step on all these bitches' necks. Like it's no longer a like competition standpoint. It's a I'm beautiful and therefore everything else is beautiful kind of thing. And it's not even physically, but you just feel good. You resonate with the energy of okay, of unconditional love, of beauty, of growth and reaching your goals. Like, I don't know, it feels like while you are manifesting this beautiful energy right here, a lot of things are kind of falling away for you, and I think that's what's making this experience so much deeper for you this week. Okay, so the first round of tarot cards we have is Death. Got it. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups. That's funny, we got a lot of these. We got these three at least in a reading we did last week. I don't know if it was the forecast or not, but for them to come right back up is interesting, because here in the beginning of the week we see death, or you leaving something behind. We see this cat over here like leaving the area, basically. He's like, oh, is that a vacuum? I'm dead. That's hilarious. Okay, so again, this kind of chaos over here that's represented, you're leaving the area in which it exists, whether that's physically or mentally. Something is shifting to where this vacuum, or this like root of all of your problems, is no longer existing for you. Then we have the Ace of Wands, which shows you again finding this. It's like the posture here is really important. You're able to reach out and grab what you desire and what catches your attention. You feel worthy of moving your body. You feel capable of doing these things and putting yourself in positions to reap the benefits of your labor, or of your expansiveness, even like planting seeds. You are doing something to be intentionally active about your life this week. And then we have the Queen of Cups, and we see this queen here sleeping on the counter. She looks like she has no problems, nowhere to get to. This is her favorite spot to rest, and she just feels good. She feels comfy. She's not worried about really anything, because she knows that even if there is something she needs to get to later, she'll get to it then. She doesn't need to sit here and worry about it and stay up from her rest. She's getting guilt-free rest. So I think that's also going to be helping you sit in the idea of unconditional love this week, is accepting and enjoying unconditional rest. And here we see another sign of nourishment with the Knight of Cups. You have 3 little owls, so I feel like guides are going to be present this week. So maybe this reciprocal energy is going to be with your guides or with some sort of spiritual form that you feel supported. Whether you see them or feel them or hear from them, they are present. They are watching over you, so you can feel protected and the ability to rest well. But again, we see this guy, the little Knight of Cups, and he's just eating out of his cup. He doesn't really have to be on guard. He's not like checking around him. He's just nourishing himself because he knows that's exactly what he needs to feel okay. He's listening to his body. He's saying, oh, I'm hungry, I should go and eat. Letting the body guide sometimes can be helpful for creating that relationship in the first place if you don't necessarily have it right now. If your body tells you you're tired, allow yourself to go and be tired and to rest right away, rather than say, let me get this done first, or let me do this first. Reprioritize yourself and listen to the messages that come to you, and appreciating those messages and responding to them rather than putting them to the side and saying, oh, hold on, I've got something to do first, is what's going to help you again build this relationship with your intuition, your creativity, your higher self. Whoever it is that you think you're receiving messages from, they will get stronger when you take them more seriously, when you allow them to actually have some effect on your current life, whether that again affects your physical choices, like what you do with the rest of your day, whether that affects your inner dialogue, how you continue to talk to yourself. Maybe you are having a moment where you're having negative self-talk and you get kind of like this message internally to fix it. Now, again, it has to be up to you to speak more positively to yourself, or to speak more encouragingly, or with unconditional love. It's kind of introducing your brain to the idea of nourishing yourself before you overwork yourself. So let me do the last 3 tarot cards and we'll see. We have 2 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so very interesting. I feel like this week has obviously like this new start, and the full moon being on tonight, on Saturday night, and going into Sunday, it's kind of setting up this week to be a time of nourishment, and your cup is running over. You're doing what you need to feel fulfilled in this moment, reaching your goals. And it could be manifesting with the full moon. It could be like writing down lists of the ideas that you're having and what you want to go out and chase, so that you can kind of see it and you have a little bit more direction. But could also be just being present and sitting with the self and allowing yourself to feel your energy coming to you. You feel your ability to heal present for you right now. There is no thing you have to go and do or accomplish in order to feel fulfilled. Kind of again channeling this energy that you want to feel more often, so that your brain remembers it when you need it and you can access it instead of needing it, or feeling desperate for it, I guess, in certain times. So this Ace of Cups is kind of like this new relationship with yourself, this new relationship with nourishing yourself, allowing yourself to sit and wait until your cup is full to take action. We see the 3 of Pentacles over here. We see kind of like a team effort of building something new. There's a new foundation to how your world goes round, and again, we see this kind of repeating symbol of the circular sort of idea. It could be the full moon, it could be just like the circle of life, the cycles of life, But either way, you're kind of finding this ebb and flow of rest and work, of rest and nourishment, rest and play, give and receive, and give and receive. And we even see with the Two of Pentacles, you kind of feel this energy of going back and forth between something. We have the snake and the bird. Sometimes you need to protect yourself. Other times you're able to be vulnerable. Knowing when to flow back and forth rather than thinking, I am this person and I must stay here on this point. I think being fluid this week is going to help you feel, it's almost weird, it's going to help you feel more in control of your emotions, but you're feeling more in control by allowing yourself to not need to control as much as before, right? And that's a blessing in and of itself, just knowing when you can take your hand out of the pot and say, you know what, this is not my fight to fight, or this is not something that needs my attention right now. It's not more important than my rest and my self-nourishment, so I'm going to put it down, or I'm going to come back to it later. It's kind of like setting internal boundaries with your own personal dialogue. How far are you pushing yourself? You know, how much chaos are you tolerating before you get to this point of just complete exhaustion or an empty cup, and you feel like everything has gone wrong, and you feel empty, and you feel desperate, and you feel scared. Whereas you can kind of introduce this cycle for yourself of, okay, I know my cup is a little bit empty right now, so I'm going to let it fill back up before I throw myself back in, before I go right back into, laboring for healing or actual physical work, socializing maybe. Whatever it is that seems like it exhausts you, every time you interact with it, there might be a necessary boundary that you have to build for yourself. And it can even be building your inner sanctuary, understanding why bringing peace into your mental space is so helpful for you, and creating this foundation of peace and unconditional love and calm, and actively working against that negative self-talk we were discussing, or actively working towards supporting yourself to where even if the chaos is present, even if the vacuum is there and it's loud and it's whirring, you're still grounded, you're still structured in front of it. It does not throw you out of the picture. It does not make you jump or scare you. You can still exist authentically is what I'm hearing too. And even closer on the Two of Pentacles, we see a figure taking steps forward, taking slow. It doesn't seem like this figure is rushing by any means, and there's just kind of symbols of peace and calmness and taking your time and going with the flow. We see water present again in two of these cards. Being able to flow where life leads you, and knowing when to retreat and go back and say, you know what, I want to rest right now. Deciding for yourself rather than always needing direction. And also understanding too, if you find a path that is not marked, going on a little adventure and understanding you're discovering something. You don't have to know where it's going to lead to in order for you to go forward. You can just trust, you can be in peace and calm and know that love supports you, so it can't go wrong necessarily. Having that sort of sense of adventure when it comes to the mental space and comes to understanding the self and the intuition will help you build all of those abilities as well, and trust them more often. Again, if you feel intuitionally that you should take a nap, let your body rest, let yourself go and take a nap. And if you don't like it, don't take a nap again. But you're kind of experimenting right now with what fulfills you, what makes you feel capable of all these things, what seeds when you plant them feel fruitful, and which ones just turn into weeds. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting message for this week, because it's calling on a lot of personal accountability and telling you that there's not really, well, I'll say this. It's telling you that this week is about you, okay? The first week of summer, right? It's about you and enjoying the flowers near you and not getting caught up in what the world has told you is so important, like cleaning your house. I hear specifically like vacuuming your floors. If it's not important to you on this day, don't do it just because the world has deemed it important, and you feel the need to justify that, or you feel the need to go and do it because someone's told you it should be done, okay? Doing what feels right to you, and again, being intentionally led by your body and your mind. If this is something I need right now, okay, let me go and get it for myself. Let me build this for myself so I can actually access healing and safety and strong walls that are not blown over when the first sign of winds come. It's just really exciting because it's giving you a lot of autonomy, is the word. It's giving you a lot of self-control, I'm hearing, and also just self-direction. You're no longer really grasping at anything outside of yourself. You're just letting it come in, and you're saying, wow, thank you for this opportunity, self or spirit or whoever. Thank you so much. Thank you for telling me that I needed rest, because you were right, and now my cup is full again, and I feel the ability to take on this entire project, or I feel I have the mental clarity now to make this decision and step forward. So that's going to be really important. Listening and taking those signs and messages clear, taking them seriously, so that you don't get, halfway into your adventure, halfway into your building, and then get burnt out or exhausted or tired, or, just to the point of, okay, my body needs rest so much that I can no longer go on, instead of just taking the pit stop now and then you can go farther. I'm going to pull some oracles just to see if there's any supplemental messages that we should have for this week. Oh, okay. I guess that's all. Thank you. And let me read this out of the book. We've got number 70. Oh, we've got 2. Okay. So slimy in reverse. I know I read this one. This one's been coming up quite a bit in our readings, but slimy kind of represents this veil over here, and the slime of existing again in the kind of the world that tells you vacuuming your floors is the most important thing, is more important even than your rest. Lifting this veil and seeing that the frogs have been controlling your world, and you no longer wish to exist within this slime or this negative self-talk or these limiting beliefs, or just kind of the version of self that doesn't nourish first, the version of self that rushes the self and doesn't even think about where the cup is and how full it may be or how empty it may be. So this being in reverse again is telling me that you guys, we are unveiling ourselves, and we're coming into a point of accountability of saying, I no longer wish to exist within this slime anymore, so I'm going to be moving on, and taking accountability for what I can do to get out of this slimy area, as in repairing self-talk, building boundaries internally and externally, prioritizing rest and nourishment, even play too, because again, I feel like taking life a little bit too seriously can take away from your own vitality. It can drain your cup very quickly if you are overthinking things, or if you are worried about things that don't necessarily matter to you, but they've been prioritized over your mental and physical and spiritual health even. So we also have number 70 that says spirits to guide you. And I'm going to read this one from the book. Let's see, it says, it seems like all the signs point to yes. Have you ever seen a repeated symbol appear over and over just for a short time? These are the guides trying to speak to you. They are like, hi, we are trying to make this pretty obvious for you. Know that you have help right now. Your guides want the very best for you, and right now they are trying to assist you in making the right choices. Pay attention to the little things. Okay. So yeah, just kind of adding on to what we were already saying is that this week you might have messages coming through from your body or from spirit. However you receive messages, you could have clair abilities, clairaudience or clairvoyance. You might see or hear things. However you receive messages, you might even see numbers on license plates. Whatever it is, it can literally come in any form, any medium. But taking the messages seriously and committing to at least contemplating them, and not just signing them off as fantasy or folklore, and also not, not like being like, oh, it's a number, but I don't know what it means. Just contemplating at that time when you receive a message, what could this possibly be telling me? Or if you're feeling like there are no messages and you can't access spirit, again, where am I missing something? What can I do right now to connect? What can I do right now to understand this message? What can I do right now to make this message relevant to what I am doing right now? So again, messages come in so many ways that I couldn't even give you really an example, because you're gonna know when it comes. Like, if you feel even an inclination to be like, oh, could that be a message? Yes, that's a message. Like, take it seriously and take it for what it is and let it apply to your current situation. I mean, sitting here listening to this reading is a message. Writing this down and keeping your intentions at the forefront of what you would like to do this week, what you'd like to experience, what headspace you would like to help yourself exists within, right? Embodying this kind of just free authenticity that you want to replicate, and not getting caught up in the chaos, and not getting caught up in trying to rush to a decision, but maybe even waiting for a message to come through before you make a decision so you feel more supported. Have your idea presented and then allow for the message to come through of, okay, this one feels right. Letting your gut lead instead of thinking that the decision being made is more important than it being made intentionally. So with that being said, that's kind of all I'm seeing for this week. I'm really excited for this week because, again, we're coming out of that full moon energy. It's been propelled with Venus and Jupiter. So there's a lot of creativity, a lot of exploration, a lot of rest and nurture, but also play. You might get a lot of new ideas, a lot of new beginnings this week. You might start a new project. You might start a new program. You might start a new adventure. It might be a new beginning, or it might also be a new relationship with yourself. These could be new perspectives. These could be new ideas internally. It might have an effect on your physical life, your external life. But this could also very well be an internal building, building your internal sanctuary, or doing an exercise to build your meditative realm, etc., etc. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing for this week. If you're interested, I will be posting a list of affirmations regarding this reading. I like to use it as a phone lock screen so I can see it throughout the week and keep it on my mind. But if you're interested, I have it tagged in the description box below. It's on Pinterest and on Patreon. And yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm thanking my guides and your guides for leading us to this message and helping it come through so clearly. If you have a chance, please like this video and even subscribe if you are here. And yeah, enjoy your week. It's going to be a beautiful one. See ya.